All right, guys, take 4. We're doing this from our cell phone tonight. So it's a smaller screen, Sunday night service. I'm Dani Williamson, and this is Kirsty Washam. Good Lord. And we are talking nutrient depletions tonight from your pharmaceuticals. We are doing this on Facebook and, hey, Brooke, and on Instagram tonight. So it's live on both, but it will be archived at Dani Williamson Wellness on Facebook and on YouTube under Dani Williamson Wellness. That's where all of our, okay, now I need a drink, and she's not drinking, but we're drinking Scout and Cellar clean crafted wine and good old Franklin, Tennessee water. Goodness, I've never had that happen, but it's working on our phone. So I don't know what's going on with the computer, guys. So this is the first time ever we have split this up between Instagram and Facebook. But listen what we're talking tonight. So Kirsty is a Kentucky girl.
Just like Dani.
Oh, yeah. We both went to Western Kentucky University, except I started Western the year she was born. 1984. What in the Sam Hill? So,
but here we are.
And then she went to Harding University, and she is a doctor of pharmacy.
I am.
And she is the fed up pharmacist. And so let me tell you, we need more fed up pharmacists out there.
Yes.
Don't we?
Yes, we do.
She works in Bowling Green. She's actually in a hospital pharmacy. Yep. And so, she's a clinical pharmacist. She's been retail before, but tonight we're talking nutrient deficiencies caused by your medications. So as soon as you guys get logged on Facebook, hit your heart buttons, hit your like buttons, click start a watch party, because I can't do that tonight because we're on our phone. Start a watch party and share, because you guys are going to want to take notes tonight. You know, I'm a functional medicine nurse practitioner, and I am always trying to get people off of their prescriptions if they can.
Absolutely.
Right?
So that's an important thing we need to say is we are not telling y'all to stop your medications tonight. No. This is just information only.
Do not go back to your healthcare provider and say, Dani and Kirsty said, stop your statin drug. No. That may be something down the road you could do, or your antidepressant, but we're not saying that. What we're discussing tonight are basically drug muggers, the pharmaceuticals, the things that you may be taking that could be depleting minerals and vitamins from your body, right?
Because this is a widespread issue. And y'all, this is something that if you go and talk to your physician, you talk to your nurse practitioner, you talk to your pharmacist, they're likely to not know anything about this. I think I had one 30-minute lecture out of my 4 years of pharmacy school on this topic, and it was actually from someone who was a guest lecturer.
Of course.
So this is just not on the radar.
No.
Okay. But it's a huge issue, because the biggest classes of prescription medications, we're talking about cholesterol medicine, diabetes meds, your anti-inflammatories, anticonvulsants, y'all, stuff that everybody's on, blood pressure medications, these all are what we call drug muggers. And so they're depleting these vital minerals and nutrients from your body. And it's not like a side effect. So when you take a medication, you might have nausea, you might have upset stomach, you might get a rash.
That's right.
But this is more long-term. This is stuff that happens not the first, second, or third time that you take a drug. This is months and years down the road.
That's exactly right. So how many of you have been on birth control for a decade or more?
Me.
You were?
I was.
Yeah. So a little bit about her story. Share your story. Tell how you really got, because you didn't learn this in pharmacy school, and you weren't even thinking this in pharmacy school.
No, I wasn't even thinking this.
Share a little bit about your health journey.
So when I graduated pharmacy school, and not to make this all about me, but what I found is that a lot of women see themselves in my story. So that's why I share this. When I graduated pharmacy school, I had severe anxiety. I was having panic attacks. My hair was falling out. My skin was dry. I was constipated. I was having all these symptoms. And my doctor just told me I was stressed. They were like, oh, you're graduating from a program. You're moving across the country. You have all this going on. Don't worry. You're stressed. Well, y'all, that is not an acceptable diagnosis. Absolutely. If your physician says that, get the heck out of there.
Or your nurse practitioner.
Or your practitioner, yeah. If you're,
find a new one.
If your provider says that to you, find somebody else. Dig a little bit deeper. So at that point, I had been on birth control since I was about 15 years old. So when I started my period, I had heavy bleeding. I had acne. And so the solution to that was, here's birth control. And so I've taken that at that point for about 15 years. And that kind of precipitated what I came to find out was Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is the leading cause of hypothyroidism in the United States. What most of y'all don't know, because you're not getting the right test, is that if you're hypothyroid, it's probably Hashimoto's.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's the number one
It's the number
undiagnosed autoimmune disease in the United States.
So,
And the number one reason for hypothyroidism,
Yes,
number one is
number one.
Hashimoto's.
so
Yep.
women out there, if you're struggling with fatigue and anxiety and depression, get your thyroid checked. And not just TSH.
Absolutely.
Not just TSH. But we're not going to make this all about thyroid tonight, but that's my story. That's how I became the fed up pharmacist. I was just fed up, and I knew that the medicine I had been taught did not have the answers for my autoimmune condition. And that's when I began to study and research and find the link between food and nutrition and exercise and stress management and how that affects our bodies.
That's exactly right.
That's where the healing happens. So,
Do you know that at least half of the drugs approved in the United States commonly deplete nutrients in our bodies?
crazy. And we're already so malnourished with our diet.
That's exactly right. So they're just creating a bigger need for nutrient supplementation,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
They alter the acidity of your GI or your urinary tract,
Mhm.
right? Of your
Mhm.
gut. The gut should be acid, right? Overstimulating or inhibiting enzymes involved in the transport of nutrients in the body. They stimulate or inhibit enzymes involved in activating nutrients or
Right.
in transforming them into
Right.
more usable substances. I mean, that comes from actually Susie Cohen's book, Drug Muggers here, which
This
is
is
a
fantastic.
fabulous book.
We actually
brought the
both
same book
brought the
today.
same
Look,
book.
yeah,
So-
yeah. So, well, brought it. I live here, but anyway, yeah. So, so here's the thing. We're going to talk about all these tonight. You know that proton pump inhibitors providers last year actually this was 2017,
yes.
wrote 157 million prescriptions for a proton pump inhibitor for 14.9 million people in the United States.
It's like every patient I have is on something for acid.
$5.1 billion alone was spent on Nexium alone in 2017.
Yeah.
The FDA issued a warning in 2014 on prolonged use
Mm-hmm.
of a proton pump inhibitor for over 2 years.
Yes.
But do you people know how long originally it was designed for you to be on a proton pump inhibitor?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, 14 pills, right?
So when y'all go to your local pharmacy and you see the box of Prilosec sitting there on the shelf, it's a 14-day supply. These drugs were never meant to be used long term. And these nutrient depletions, so here's the scary thing about this is that most people don't just take one medication, right? So it's nothing for me to have patients on 20 to 30 prescriptions a month.
Oh my goodness.
Let that sink in. 20 to 30 prescriptions a month. And we don't really know how those are affecting each other, right? I mean,
No.
there's no studies on how when you take 20, 30 drugs, how that's affecting your body. Okay. So just
Is that you told me that when you were working retail pharmacy,
Yes.
that you would actually take prescriptions out in boxes for
Boxes.
people, like
Boxes.
big
So-
boxes, not this box that
No,
I got from
like-
Harvest.
like big cardboard boxes. These people get so many medications that they don't fit in the little bags anymore.
Those of you that are watching right now, if you are on 5 or more prescriptions, and I'm not talking bioidentical hormones here that I would prescribe, if you're on 5 or more prescriptions, hit your heart buttons up here or your thumbs down button or something like that.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah,
And it's okay. You're not alone.
that's exactly
You're
right.
not alone.
All right,
But-
sis.
Okay, so this is what happens. Drug-induced nutrient depletions. You get a
Yeah.
prescription for one medication, then you start having these symptoms. Okay, so be it fatigue or your hair's falling out or whatever, your anxiety, depression. Well, then you just get another prescription for another drug.
That's
And
right.
So this, we call it the pill for every ill cycle, just continues and drags you further and further down into these nutrient depletions. So we're going to go ahead and dig into those.
Okay,
Get
let's
started?
do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So we're going to start off with what Dani led off with, the proton pump inhibitors.
You
I
bet.
think between Dani and myself, we equally hate this particular class of medication.
Yes, we
Hate is
do.
a strong word, but if y'all
I
just
was
knew.
on it for a long, long time.
Y'all
I was
just
on
knew.
Nexium for a long, long time. Mhm.
So these drugs, you should not need a pill to eat. You shouldn't need a pill to eat.
Good. That's
doesn't-
good. You should not need a pill
You should
to
not
eat.
need a pill to eat. Like, why that doesn't make any sense. It would make more sense to change what you're eating, but that's a conversation for another day.
That's exactly right.
So these drugs literally deplete pretty much every mineral and vitamin that you can think of because they're disrupting the very place that your nutrients are absorbed. Okay, so without a healthy gut, you can't absorb any nutrients at all. Specifically, we're talking about depletion of things like calcium, folic acid, iron, vitamin B12, vitamin D. And so what happens when people are on these proton pump inhibitors, and there's actually warnings on these drugs for things like fractures.
You bet. Hip fractures, increased risk of hip fractures.
So because you're not absorbing the calcium, the magnesium, the vitamin D that you need to build strong bones. Okay.
That's right.
Insomnia.
Yes.
Headaches.
Yes.
Because you're depleting your magnesium.
That's right.
What
Anemia.
else? Anemia.
That's right. Because you can't absorb the iron.
Absorb the iron.
Depression.
Yeah.
Osteoporosis, which we said.
Yes.
Increased cardiovascular risk, you know, and if you're depleting your magnesium as well, that's what magnesium has got over like 400 enzymatic functions in your body.
At least.
Right. It's right. It's a smooth muscle relaxer, and your heart is a smooth muscle. C. difficile. That's a big one for C. diff. Okay.
I was going to talk about that.
We have not had time to go over this, by the way, so we are winging it. So. I got stuck in Boston to Baltimore anyway today, so it's a big mess. So we haven't even rehearsed this.
So these proton inhibitors totally disrupt your gut bacteria.
Yes.
And if y'all been hanging around Dani for any period of time, then you know how important your gut health is. Like your immune system, 70, 80, 90% of your immune system is in your gut.
Yes.
Your serotonin, which is that happy, feel-good hormone, that's produced by your gut bacteria too. So when you start disrupting that, it lets this nasty little thing called C. diff diarrhea, which nobody wants that. Patients in the hospital have it. We have to do things like fecal transplants where you take another person's poop. Well, I mean, you just have to call it what it is. Yeah. You take another person's poop and put it into your gut via an NG tube, which goes up your nose and into your stomach, to repopulate your gut with healthy bacteria.
Well, you know what the problem with that is?
Gross.
Finding somebody with healthy gut to put down your nose.
Right. So
with healthy poop, put down your nose. Because that's a really tricky thing, is finding good poop.
It is.
I mean, I don't know if they have poop farms or what, where people can do that, because you can't. It's a real tough thing. I mean, nobody in my family could donate poop to me, I guarantee you. They live in Western Kentucky and they're eating bunny bread and the biggest bunch of crap ever. So I don't know what I'd do. I'd have to call a patient and say, give me your poop.
Friend.
Call a friend.
With a healthy gut. So y'all,
fecal transplants are no joke.
They are no joke.
C. diff is no joke. And so if you've got C. diff, you want a good fecal transplant. Yes. Are y'all doing those up in Bowling Green?
Yeah.
Good deal.
So y'all,
but we're talking about Nexium and prilosecond acid
that people
blockers
are on forever, and we make light of it, and all these drugs have these commercials that are like really funny and whatever. But y'all, this is no laughing matter. Like ending up with dementia and osteoporosis as a result of taking a drug. As a result of taking a drug so that you can eat fried chicken and pizza, y'all, it's not good. And we're not talking about, there are certain disease states where people have to be on proton pump inhibitors. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about people who could change their diet, who could clear some things up and be able to come off of these drugs.
That's exactly correct. You're exactly right about that. In Tums, it's the same thing. It's one of those things that, I mean, it's a big, it's a precursor to dementia. And so what are we going to do? So we're taking an acid blocker. Well, Dr. Washam, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I can't stand the heartburn. The heartburn is killing me. My doctor says I has. Well, that's our Kentucky. I has too much acid in my stomach.
Wait, she's barely even had her wine. This is just
Lord. I swear, this has been a weekend. I has too much acid. What am I going to do? I can't handle the heartburn.
I know. It's terrible.
I can't sleep at night. I have to sleep in my recliner chair.
We're going to change what we eat.
Okay.
Gluten intolerance is a big contributing factor to acid reflux. Gluten in that.
But I go to Cracker Barrel every morning for breakfast.
Not anymore. Maybe get you some eggs and some.
Give me a pill. I need a pill. Is there a supplement?
Now there is a supplement, but also if you have if you think you have low, or if you have too much stomach acid, chances are you have too little stomach acid.
I was hoping you'd say
especially you thyroid patients. So you hypothyroid patients, you actually have something called hypochlorhydria, most likely, which is the
Yeah.
scientific term for low stomach acid. And you can take these guys that Dani has.
Yeah, I love this
I
one
travel with these in my purse. I sound like a pill woman, but
I do too.
these are digestive enzymes, and they literally work amazingly
well. Now this one's
well.
hydrochloric acid,
Is that one-
straight up
Okay, that was
hydrochloric
straight up,
acid.
but
This
tank.
is hydrochloric acid.
Hydrochloric acid, which is what your stomach is trying to make until you
That's
start
right.
blocking it.
But these are digestive enzymes
there's
with
enzymes.
hydrochloric acid right here.
So
Yes,
these are going to help you break everything down.
Yes.
Make it easier to digest.
Yes.
They actually acidify your stomach, which is what you need.
Yes,
You need
don't
acid
need
to break down your food.
less acid. You need more acid. Most people do.
Yes.
Okay. So, and that's a huge misconception. And once you start putting in some HCl, some hydrochloric acid in your stomach, it's unbelievable how the heartburn goes away and the bloating and the gas and the gurgling. Right. I'm a big fan of a digestive enzyme. Now, not everybody needs hydrochloric acid, but if you're on Nexium or a proton pump inhibitor trying to wean off, I wean patients off. I have them cut it down in half, and then I have them start some hydrochloric acid or a digestive enzyme. I like Digeszymes from Designs for Health.
They're great.
I think this is a great one when we're trying to get some hydrochloric acid in there. I use Insulase in the office. Everybody knows this is my all-time favorite enzyme right here, but there's no HCl in it right here. But if you need to add some in, and you can go online, there's an exact way that you use your hydrochloric acid. You start with one with like 15 to 20 grams of protein at your meal. And then you bump. If you don't feel anything, then the next time you bump up 2 and 3 until you feel the heartburn that you're trying to get rid of, right? Yeah. And then you back off 1 pill. And as a rule, that is your sweet spot. And you can find that online. I mean, I just copied that off and I hand it out to patients when they get their hydrochloric acid. I said, this is exactly how you take it. And it is unbelievable how much better people feel.
So well.
In fact, I think it was Isabella Wentz who said she slept for the very first time in years the first day that she took hydrochloric acid because she was on Nexium for years. Right. And she's a pharmacist. Yeah, that's something.
Because we're not taught this. That's why we're being
No, I wasn't taught this in school. I had a great school, but I was not taught this in school. So this is a big deal because probably out of everything we're talking about tonight, well, I don't know, maybe a statin drug. More people are on proton pump inhibitors than they are anything.
Yes.
Because we're never asked, what are you eating?
Yeah.
Do you know your diet controls your heartburn?
Yeah.
Well, that's a magical question.
Right. And this is the one drug, I think, out of everything we're talking about tonight, too, that y'all can just go out
you bet
to, Kroger or wherever and pick it up and take it without a physician or anybody knowing about it. And Harlan's licking my feet.
Harlan's earned the table here. At least he's not snoring tonight. So
I think we beat that horse. And I heard somebody saying PPI caused B12 deficiency in my husband.
Yes.
Absolutely. So that's how the proton pump inhibitors work. They act on the cells in your stomach that help you produce your endogenous B12. So
that's right. And so you have to replace B12. And you may not always need B12, but take some high dose B12. I put people on 5,000 micrograms or 5 milligrams of high dose sublingual B12. And then I put them on a B complex as well. Because if you're taking high doses of one vitamin, which there we go, B12, or it could be any B12. I use methyl B12 though in the office. If you're taking any high dose of one B vitamin, you could deplete the other Bs in your body, the 5, the 6, the 2, the 9, all those. So I put a B complex in. Plus, let me tell you people, you get some hydrochloric acid in you, you get a B complex and a B12 in you. You are like zooming around like there's no tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, you've got a lot of energy.
Not believe it. So
that's proton pump inhibitors. That's Nexium. The bottom line on that one is there are times when you need it.
Yes.
Okay. But it's short term. Yes. It was only indicated for 2 weeks initially. And isn't it interesting how they've added it 2 years now? Yeah. But anyway.
People taking it twice a day when it's only meant to be taken once a day.
That's something
crazy.
For 2 weeks.
It's crazy. So
What's next?
Antidepressants. Those. So antidepressants, another huge, I mean, almost everybody in America is taking antidepressants.
I was on Effexor, Prozac, Lexapro, Effexor, Prozac, Lexapro. I was on Buspar, which is not an antidepressant, but Buspar. I was on Xanax briefly, going through a divorce. This was all divorce time. I haven't been on any of that. Once I got rid of that, I got rid of all that. So
She feels better.
Totally situational.
But
So
same thing for me. When I told you all my story when I graduated pharmacy school, the doctor said I was stressed. So being the good little new pharmacist that I was like, okay, yeah, give me some Celexa, give me some Xanax.
Yeah.
Y'all,
Isn't that something?
it doesn't make things better all the time.
No.
So these drugs, these SSRIs, so things like Zoloft, Paxil, also things like your SNRIs, so that's your Effexor and Cymbalta and stuff like that, the norepinephrine inhibitors.
Ooh.
They deplete folic acid.
You bet.
Which is huge,
Mm-hmm.
y'all. That is, it's a critical nutrient. They also reduce your body's ability to produce melatonin.
Yes, they do.
So how many people that have like anxiety and depression have trouble sleeping? Well, most of them. So what a cruel, cruel trick that the actual drug you're taking to hopefully make you feel better is robbing your body of melatonin, which is what you need to make you sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So that is not cool. That is not okay.
No.
So back to the folic acid. Folic acid helps your red blood cells.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it helps your cells grow and divide. Did you know that folic acid deficiency in and of itself is a risk factor for depression?
You bet it is.
It's a known cause of depression, being deficient in folic acid.
Mm-hmm.
But these drugs for anxiety and depression deplete folic acid even more.
And then if you add a compound heterozygous MTHFR mutation on top of that, like Jamie's talking about here, then you've even got a double whammy.
You do.
You've got a MTHFR mutation and you're on an antidepressant. Well, there you go. You already can't methylate or process your B12 and your folic acid properly. So take a great methylfolate, right? I use a methylfolic acid. Take a good B complex to help combat that. I use the neuroimmune cream. I've used this for years. Oh my gosh, in the office, because it's made for people with MTHFR.
Which
so it's
about 40 to 50% of people have.
At least.
Yes.
I predict it's even higher.
Yes,
but
me too.
This is 5 milligrams of B12, 5 milligrams of methylfolate, 6 milligrams of D3. of B6,
That's
and
good.
1,200 IUs of D3. And it's a pump, and you just put it on. You talk about energy, clear-headed, but if you're going to be on an antidepressant and you're not coming off yet, then get the methylfolate in your body, get the methyl B12 in your body, because a lack of those two contribute to depression anyway.
Absolutely.
So maybe it was just a B12 deficiency, or maybe it was simply a methylfolate. Yeah. But it also could be a serotonin problem. Don't stop your antidepressants tonight and start B12.
And there's an appropriate way, if you are interested in doing that ever and working with your provider to do so, there's an appropriate way to taper off of SSRIs. It's not something you just stop cold turkey. But back to the methylfolate.
Yep.
So clinical trials actually suggest in patients who have depression that's not managed by their prescription. So say you're the patient who's been on every different antidepressant. Okay. I know a lot of people who just roll from one to the other because they say it doesn't work for them.
That's right.
That's where this methylfolate comes in. This methylfolate actually improves your brain's response to the antidepressant if it is in fact something that you need. So it's a great adjunct. If you're not going to try to come off of it, at least get this folate in your body, and not folic acid. So folic acid is the synthetic version. Folate is so when you hear folate, think foliage, okay?
Yes.
So your leafy green vegetables, that's where this stuff comes from. So you can get it in your diet. But
Ideally you would,
but having this backup is a great, you just have to do it.
That's exactly right. It can also rob you of your iodine, your B6, your MAO inhibitors CoQ10, riboflavin. So, if you definitely, iodine, you always have to be careful with iodine, especially if you have thyroid issues, but lack of iodine is also a contributor to hypothyroidism. So low dose iodine, if you're taking an antidepressant, I am a believer in that. Antidepressants can cause fatigue, headaches, heart palpitations, weight gain, decreased sex drive. Absolutely. I hear it all the time, right? Leg cramps, low thyroid, and yes, they can cause depression.
Yes.
And they can cause suicidal thoughts as well. Cymbalta is a big one for that. And I have a patient who did commit suicide on Cymbalta. I wasn't writing his Cymbalta, but he sure did. It had just been doubled, and the team doctor, doubled it. Didn't see him anyway. He killed himself. And I have a friend who attempted suicide on Cymbalta as well, and felt totally fine. And then one day decided, I'm going to go kill myself, and has never been depressed like that in her life. So, they're not without
No, it's
side
not
effects.
without. And you're talking about the iodine. So a lot of these drugs impact the thyroid in a way you wouldn't think about. So when you look at, let's take Celexa, for example, it's the first one that pops to mind. Celexa's chemical name is citalopram hydrobromide. Okay, so bromine being in a similar class. If you remember your periodic table from high school chemistry,
She's a smarty pants.
y'all are like, no, get this girl out of here. So your thyroid will actually, it needs to take up iodine, but when you're taking in bromine, like if it's in your Celexa, your thyroid's going to take up that bromine instead, or that chlorine. So,
well, Prozac has a fluoride background.
Prozac has a fluoride.
Right?
Yes, I think
I think that's correct. In fact, I know that one's right, but I didn't know that about Celexa.
Yeah.
And bromine is and that's put in like bread. I mean, they put bromine in bread and things like that, right? So
y'all, it's bad business. So make sure this whole point tonight is you have to supplement.
Low dose iodine. Don't go 12.5 milligrams of iodine and go make your thyroid go hypothyroid and then hyper and all these things happen.
No.
Now, iodine's a great thing. I use a lot of it. I take it every day. I take 6.25 milligrams about 4 days a week.
Exactly what I have.
This is a great one. This is from RLC. These are the people who make
WP
Thyroid, Nature Throid, NP. Yep. No, not NP. West Throid. Yeah, I love this iodine right here.
Okay.
So antidepressants, you're going to need some folate, right? You're going to need some iodine. I mean, and you might can get away with just taking a great multivitamin on many of these, as long as it's a multivitamin that actually absorbs in your body.
Yes.
Right?
That's critical. So absorption is key. All right.
Okay.
Switch gears.
Acid blockers, antidepressants. Where are we going to now?
Oh, we're going to go to birth control next.
Woo! Birth control.
Birth control.
Haven't been on that in a long time. Thank goodness.
All right, ladies. We just got to get real.
All right. Birth control. And if you or your granddaughter or your daughter or your best friend or whatever is on birth control, you need to listen up.
Listen up. So that's the thing about birth control is that it's ladies from teens all the way up to menopause who are taking this.
Because actually most people are on birth control not for birth control.
Right.
They're on it for something else.
So PMS, more anxiety, more depression, acne, like I mentioned that I got started on it for.
Yes.
PCOS.
You bet. Endometriosis.
Mm-hmm. We're using birth control as a Band-Aid for symptoms.
Migraines,
yes. So your body's trying to tell you something, and birth control is just this Band-Aid. And it ends up causing more issues long-term than what you had to start with.
Well, here's what I've said. I don't know if you've ever heard me say this, but I was taught in school, and I know they still teach this because I precept a lot of students, and I was taught you could treat women with 3 prescriptions, and that's all you ever needed. You need birth control. Mm-hmm. You need an antidepressant because we're all crazy at some point in our life. And you need synthetic hormones. That would be Premarin, which is pregnant mare's urine. Okay. Those 3 things. It just depends on what age you are. And then I could teach Harlan Jones over here, my English bulldog, to treat women and the way they taught us in women's health, because that's all people need. That's all you need. That's all you need. And then if that doesn't work and the birth control doesn't work, then let's just send you on over to surgery and get it cut out. And let's get you to psych and make sure you're seeing a psychiatrist. And there you go.
And there you go.
So
the sad thing about this is that typically, girls are started on this when they're young.
Yes.
So 15, 16, 17, young 20s. Mm-hmm. By the time they're on this, say 10 years or so before they get married or decide they want to have a family or whatever, then they start getting prescriptions for our antidepressants.
Oh, yeah.
And anti-anxiety drugs. Mm-hmm. And why is this? This is because we depleted all the B vitamins out of their body.
You bet. From your birth control.
From the birth control. So birth control's drug-induced nutrient depletions are B vitamins.
Yep.
Vitamin C.
Yep.
Zinc.
Yes.
Selenium.
Yep.
And they also disrupt your gut flora.
You bet. And magnesium.
And
they take out magnesium.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge.
That's all your psych stuff going on right there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So
and your immune system,
your
vitamin C, and your gut flora. So that's 80% of your immune system.
Mm-hmm. And your serotonin.
You bet.
So y'all,
birth control it's a booger. It's a booger. I don't write it anymore. I do not. I wrote it for years, and I tell people that, you know what, if you need somebody to write birth control for you, you're going to have to go somewhere else. I mean, anybody will do it. So, you need your gynecologist or somebody to write. But contributed to that birth control, some of the things that can contribute or that can happen from all of these depletions: heart disease, candida overgrowth, right?
Ladies,
because you're
your
disrupting
chronic
the flora.
Yeah, your chronic yeast infections might be
bet.
birth control.
Fatigue, increased risk of a stroke and cancer. Absolutely. Irritable bowel syndrome, depression, insomnia, a lower immunity. Well, yeah, because you're disrupting all the gut flora in there.
Yes.
Memory loss, irritability, nerve pain, hypothyroidism, risk of breast cancer. Now that's true. Yeah. So birth control is not benign, but again, now I'm going to tell you this up front. You have to weigh the risks and benefits.
Always.
If you're having sex and you don't want to get pregnant, you know, you got to weigh the risks and benefits because, you know, and if he won't have a vasectomy, which I think is the easiest thing, if we have to birth babies out of something this big, that something this big comes out of it, I mean, the least he can do is get a vasectomy. But anyway, you have to weigh the risks and benefits. And so, you know, if you need to be on it short term, or you could use an IUD, you could use a Paragard, which has no hormones in it, the copper one. I'm a fan, if you're going to use birth control, I like the NuvaRing because it is, it's just progestin and it's local. It stays right there. So I am a fan of that if you're going to do that, but you have to be comfortable putting it in as well. But again, just know if you're taking birth control, your gut flora is going to be disrupted, right? I mean, you're going to lose your vitamin C and magnesium and your B vitamins. Again, B vitamins. And if you don't have your Bs, your psych issues are worse, right? And you're tired,
your brain health and your hormones,
numbness and tingling in the hands and feet. You know, low B12, that's a big one right there. B6 as well.
Yes. So, ladies, and if you're interested too, I don't have a copy of the book with me, but Jolene Brighton, she's a naturopathic doctor.
She sure is.
Just wrote a book called Beyond the Pill.
Yes.
Beyond the Pill, Dr. Jolene Brighton. It is probably one of the best books that I've seen written on this topic in a long time. So if you're on birth control, if you've been on birth control, if you know somebody on birth control, get them this book.
Yeah, she's really cool. I met her last year at the JJ Virgin Mind Share. She's neat. She's a naturopathic doctor. She went to Bastyr out in Washington State.
It's a really great book. So
okay, what's next? Okay, we talked proton pump inhibitors, birth control, antidepressants. Now where are we going?
Let's go to statins.
Statin drugs, cholesterol drugs.
We're Kentucky girls. We're Kentucky girls, so
everybody's on statin.
Everybody's on the statin, right? But you got to have your fried chicken and all that good stuff.
That's right.
So, statin.
I love Cracker Barrel. You all know I love Cracker Barrel. Went and met with Cracker Barrel about, you know, working on their menu and things like that. So I'm all about Cracker Barrel. I think it's a fabulous place, but you can't eat there 7 days a week.
Right.
Okay. And expect to stay off of a statin drug. Okay.
So the huge thing about statins is depletion of a substance in your body called coenzyme Q10, okay, or CoQ10 or ubiquinol, it has a bunch of names.
That's right. I use coquinol from Designs for Health. Yeah, I like this one. It works well. But okay.
So the way statins work is they block this enzyme in your body that produces cholesterol, okay? But while they're blocking that step, so it's something called HMG-CoA reductase. It's this big fancy name.
That's a $10 word.
That's a $10 word. It has
Western Kentucky.
It has an even longer name than that. But anyways, but while they're blocking that HMG-CoA, that's what your body uses. That's the same pathway your body uses to make your CoQ10. So it's blocking your cholesterol. It's blocking your CoQ10.
Okay.
Your CoQ10 is like your master antioxidant in your body. We're going to go back to high school biology now. We've already been to chemistry class. We might also go to biology and talk about mitochondria. So the mitochondria are the powerhouse.
The mighty powerhouse. Yes.
The mitochondria are the powerhouse of every single cell in your body. Okay. Every cell in your body uses CoQ10 for energy. So what happens when you take these statins, your body can't make CoQ10. All of a sudden, you don't have any energy. Not only that, you might have restless legs.
Yeah,
what else happens?
Joint pain.
Yeah. What else happens in statins? All stuff.
Heart disease. Homocysteine may go up.
Homocysteine elevated. Depression, palpitations, memory loss, diabetes. They've proven that taking a statin increases your risk of becoming diabetic. And this is all because of depletion of CoQ10. And CoQ10 has its highest concentration in your body, actually in your heart tissue. So another cruel joke is like you're taking this drug to protect your heart, and it's depleting your heart of a substance that's critical. Isn't that crazy?
It's maddening to me. And I mean, younger and younger and younger patients are being told by their primary care provider or their cardiologist, they have one, you've got to get on statin. Now, again, you may need a statin. So don't say, Dani said, I don't need my statin drug.
We didn't say that.
But if your cholesterol is 230, your HDL is 58, 60, your LDL is, below 100. Is it 100, below 100, 150, below 120? I don't know.
I think it's 100 now. They keep lowering.
And your triglycerides are, I don't know, 110 or whatever. I would have a real hard time saying you need a statin drug. What you need is to get off your butt, move your body, burn the cholesterol out of your arteries, eat a Mediterranean lifestyle or a Whole30 lifestyle.
Yes.
She's Whole30 certified. A Mediterranean, I use a Mediterranean lifestyle, take a couple supplements, eat well, sleep well, move well, poop well, decrease stress, all those things that you need to do. See if that works first. Or use it short term to bring it down while you're making lifestyle modifications.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes. So let's talk about, she brought up Whole30, so I'm going to bring that into the picture a little bit. My family has what they say is familial high cholesterol.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of people have this same little buzzword is going around. It's like, but you have familial high cholesterol. That means everybody in your family has high cholesterol. Well, probably not. It's probably the food that everyone in your family is eating, but that's another story. My mom had familial high cholesterol. My grandmother had it. My great-grandmother had it. The most amazing thing happened is that Mom had always exercised. She's always eaten the cardiac diet. So, lots of low-fat dairy, lots of heart-healthy grains. Y'all, that's a bunch of bull. Yeah. Heart-healthy grains, low-fat dairy, all the things. And her cholesterol was still high, so she required a statin. Well, her daughter one day just comes home with this idea, let's all do the Whole30. And Mom's like, okay, sure, I'll go along with what you say. 1 month, y'all, 30 days of eating an anti-inflammatory diet where she ate eggs. I'm talking yolks and whites. So she ate eggs, she ate meat, she ate bacon, she also ate vegetables and fruits. Kind of all the inflammatory food groups, gluten, dairy, soy. She all of a sudden didn't have the familial high cholesterol anymore and didn't need the statin.
Isn't that something?
So that is the power of food over these conditions.
And Mama's sitting right over here, scratching Harlan's back, by the way.
And Mama is a nurse. And so
she's a nurse.
Y'all, it was dang hard for me to get Mama, to eat eggs and bacon and all that kind of stuff that she had been taught through her whole career was going to raise her cholesterol. And it just is not true. Every cell in your body is made of cholesterol.
Yes.
That's how critical it is. Every cell membrane in your brain is a
lipid membrane.
You've got to have fat. Ladies with hormonal imbalances.
All your hormones are made from cholesterol, ladies.
Are made from cholesterol. It's the precursor to every hormone in your body.
Cholesterol breaks down and makes pregnenolone, right? Which I call the happiness hormone. And women feel great when they get on some pregnenolone. And then pregnenolone breaks down and makes estrogen and progesterone and testosterone. So listen, it starts upstream. And if you deplete all the cholesterol, you are missing out. I mean, your hormones, your brain. Your brain. Your brain. I don't know. Is there a correlation between statins and dementia and Alzheimer's? Okay.
Yes. Memory loss. Absolutely. So if you're going to be on a statin, make sure you're on coenzyme Q10.
You bet.
That is like non-negotiable.
Yeah. CoQ10. I'm telling you.
Also, generally the population of people who are on statins are a little bit older.
Yes. Although it's getting younger and younger. And 40-year-old women.
Right.
40-year-old women. What?
Yeah. So after age 40, though, your body's natural production of coenzyme Q10 goes down anyways.
Yes.
So it's kind of a double whammy. So if you're over 40 and you're not on a statin, you probably need some coenzyme Q10. If you're over 40 and you're on a statin, you definitely need some coenzyme Q10.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. What else we got?
We got a few minutes left.
Yeah, we've got a few minutes.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about?
You want to talk about metformin?
Yes.
Some diabetes.
Diabetes.
Okay. Let's do that. more depletion of things we've already talked about. So we're talking about metformin, which is probably the most popular diabetes drug that there is. It's one of the most inexpensive.
Yep, because we also use it for polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Yes, we use
right?
it in women.
Yep.
Well, metformin depletes folic acid, also depletes B12 and coenzyme Q10.
Yep.
And how many patients, Dani, how many do you have? These things don't exist in a bubble like we were talking about earlier. Most people are not just taking one thing. So it's likely that if you have high cholesterol, you might have diabetes too. So you're on the statin.
Yes.
You're on the metformin. You're probably on an acid suppressing drug too. And then you're
are.
probably on an antidepressant.
You probably are.
So this is why this stuff is so, so important. B12 is the thing I think of when I think about metformin. That's the big depletion that I think of.
You bet.
So what a symptom of B12 depletion is neuropathy.
Yes.
Okay, so nerve pain, numbness, numbness and tingling.
You bet.
But guess what else? Type 2 diabetes, untreated, can cause neuropathies, numbness and tingling. So really, how does the patient know, and you don't know, when you start getting numbness and tingling, you go to the doctor, you say, hey doc, I've got diabetes, I've got numbness and tingling, and they say, okay, here's your prescription for your Lyrica or your gabapentin for your diabetic neuropathy, when maybe all you needed was just some vitamin B12.
That's right. Isn't that something?
That is crazy.
I know.
And we weren't taught that.
No, we weren't. I wasn't taught any of that. Diabetes meds. It can increase your homocysteine levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Infections, fatigue, anemia, irregular heartbeat, memory loss, muscle cramps. We talked about heart disease, all those things. And then you get the people that are down here on, your
sulfonylureas.
Your sulfonylureas. That's right. I forgot. I was going, I can't remember what in the heck, because I don't do that anymore. And again, you're getting into, I wrote on here liver damage. Well, I've had liver damage. That's liver damage. I've had some severe liver damage in my lifetime. Oh my gosh, I've never even noticed that. Liver damage, which could also be liver damage, by the way, heart disease, frequent infections, increased risk of cancer, memory loss, all those things. I could have used some memory loss when I was going through liver damage that I was going through, but diabetes scares me more than any disease out there. Alzheimer's scares me to death, but diabetes, people, affects every single cell in your body, every vessel, all vascular, your eyes, your eyeballs to the tips of your toes.
Kidneys.
Your toes start coming off one at a time. So, and then it works itself up to your knees, and then up to, and then there you are flopping and around your legs, no legs, and your pants are flopping. So I'm serious, people.
She is.
I'm dead serious. Yes. Diabetes scares me. I don't treat diabetes anymore. I send you straight on to endocrinology, which, put you on stuff, but you got to heal the gut. If you're a type 2 diabetic, you can fix that. If you are a type 2 diabetic and it is out of control, that is your problem. Mm-hmm. That is not nobody else's problem, but what's going down the pie hole right there.
Yep.
And you have to control it, because let me tell you, there's no biscuit and gravy worth losing your toes or your eyesight or any of that. No. It's not worth it.
No.
And Allie says, when the pain of the same outweighs the pain of the change, that's when patients make a move.
That's good.
When the pain of the same outweighs the pain of the change, cutting out the biscuits and gravy, that's when people make a change.
Right.
And it's a fact. And so diabetes meds, you can take all the metformin you want, but you're going to deplete your body of so much. So if you're taking it, and because metformin acts like an anti-inflammatory, I'm going to tell you, metformin works. It works for inflammation. It works for PCOS because it decreases inflammation, right? But there's other ways to decrease inflammation.
Diet,
and if you really want to work on the root cause, because this is not a metformin deficiency. I'm telling you right now, it's not a Nexium deficiency, right?
Nope.
And you weren't born with diabetes. Type 2. Now, you could have been born with pancreatic, problems and things like that, but you weren't born depressed. You weren't born with heartburn. We turn those on. And what your body turns on, we can turn off by putting in what it needs and what we're missing.
Right.
Am I right?
Yes, absolutely.
And you put I mean, you go up on the floor many times, right? At
Yes.
the hospital?
Yes.
And you see patients in the room.
Absolutely. Missing their limbs. Y'all, it's not a game. Like, they will cut your little toes off one at a time until, like she said, there's nothing left. So, and you just gotta get under control. And if it starts here, it starts with eating the right things. It starts with taking the right supplements and learning what these drug-induced nutrient depletions are while you're making those changes. So,
That's right.
I mean, y'all, we could go on and on.
Whoops, Jackson wants to FaceTime from Toronto. Sorry. There we go. We're back.
So this is the list of all the not all, but a lot of the drug-induced nutrient depletions that we could talk about. I mean, conversation could
We
go
can
on
bring
for
her back.
hours.
Do y'all want to bring her back and we'll
For
talk
hours
about
and
even
hours.
more pharmaceuticals? Wouldn't that be great? Because
yes,
it's already
I
been
love
an
that.
hour.
I
Well,
love
actually,
that.
we can go a little bit over because we got messed up
We
there.
did get messed up.
Facebook
Okay.
mess. Yes, see there, people want you back.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Because we haven't even talked about NSAIDs like ibuprofen and Motrin, Advil, things like that, Aleve,
My
Anaprox,
gosh.
Mobic. We haven't talked about any of that. Laxative. How many of you can't poop?
Antibiotics.
Antibiotics.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
antibiotics.
let's do a part 2. What do you
Okay.
think? I mean, next week is Mother's Day, so we can't do that, but let's do a part. So
We'll
we talked
schedule
about birth
something.
control, and we talked about diabetes meds.
Oh,
and
we got
talked-
vaccines. Ooh.
Oh dear, Jenny, get off of there right now. You're opening up a whole nest of. I love you though. A whole nest.
I
of
mean,
worms over
I'm
there.
willing to go there sometimes.
Thyroid meds, things. If you're taking thyroid meds, I mean, there's things you need. If you're on a diuretic,
Yeah.
holy moly.
Antihypertensives. I mean,
Yep.
y'all. So yeah.
Or if you can't poop and you're taking a laxative, well, that's bad news.
Yeah.
Right? So how are you going to pick your great supplements, right? How are you going to get your good magnesium or your good probiotic or your good CoQ10
Yes.
or really your good fish oil?
Because if y'all are going to spend the money on supplements,
You bet.
spend the money on good supplements.
That's right. So
Don't-
here's the thing. I think you can use
That's right.
Amazon for a million different things, right? Like I ordered the book, our next guest here,
I'm
Beat
really excited
Autoimmune.
about
I
this.
can't wait till she comes on the 19th off of Amazon. Do not order your supplements from Amazon. I'm sorry, but you just don't, because they don't monitor them. They don't keep your fish oil could be rancid. You don't want to get that at Costco either. You can get straight up vitamin C. You don't have to have my vitamin C or your vitamin C. I mean, but you have to really pay attention. Probiotics, fish oil. I would not order those things off of Amazon. Metagenic shut down 10,000 accounts on Amazon 18 months ago that were selling fake products, expired products. They don't monitor it. Anybody can sell anything on Amazon. So be real careful. If you're going to spend the money on nutraceuticals, buy the best you can. And then you will have to take less and hopefully for a shorter amount of time as you're healing the gut.
Especially for y'all who are trying to avoid these nasty things like the gluten, the dairy,
That's
the
right.
soy, the artificial dyes, the artificial sweeteners, y'all.
Those are all drug mothers.
Those are all and they're also in your crappy over-the-counter supplements.
Yes, they are.
So you wouldn't eat that stuff in your food. A lot of you have changed how you eat. So don't take it in your supplements. Don't accept that.
Do not. No, absolutely not. I have people bring their things in all the time and I'll look and say, Dani, is that good? I'll say, well, that red dye number 40 is probably not a good idea.
Probably not.
Yellow, whatever the number is, number for yellow, whatever, 5,
blue
yellow number 5,
whatever.
blue number 12. I don't know what the numbers are, but those are not things that should be in your supplements.
No,
I mean, they're
actually outlawed in Europe. A lot of the artificial dyes and colors.
Yes, they are.
And they're known to contribute to hyperactivity in children, and cancer and all kinds of nasty stuff.
That's exactly right. So what else is going to be a drug mugger, right? Your diet is going to be a drug mugger.
Yes.
High sugar, right?
Oh
High
my gosh.
fat content.
Yes.
Or no, let's not get into the fat. Processed, packaged, bagged,
Processed.
canned, that kind of stuff is going to be a drug mugger as well. That's going to rob your body of amazing nutrients that it needs. So it's not always your pharmaceuticals, it's your diet as well. You can't out supplement a bad diet. You can't do it. It's not.
If you do that, it's no different than taking prescription medications.
That's exactly
really.
right.
I mean, you can't, because you have the opportunity every single time you eat to put good nutritious food into your body.
You bet. Garbage
Gotta
in
do it.
equals garbage out. But I had a note on here. What if we taught our nurse practitioner students this, our pharmacy students, our medical students this stuff? in med school, we would be in a whole different, there'd be a whole paradigm shift. What if our nursing homes, our nursing homes and hospitals actually recognized this and walked up there and said, you know what, you're on a statin drug, or you know what, you're on Nexium. Let's give you a digestive enzyme and let's work on this. But there's no money in supplements, people. No money whatsoever.
Medicine's about what they say, like 17 or 20 years behind.
20 years.
Yeah.
I was taught 20 years behind in school what the actual true research shows. What's out there. 20 years behind.
So the literature that your pharmacists, your nurse practitioners, your physicians are being taught is 20 years behind. So if you're with me and Dani, you're kind of ahead of everybody.
You guys are trailblazers.
You are.
That's right.
You are.
I'm telling you. And watching on a Sunday night, oh my goodness. But hey, listen, we appreciate you. I hope you learned something.
Yes.
We're going to bring her back. All right. Next Sunday, we do not have Sunday night service because it's Mother's Day. So spend time with your family and that kind of thing. We're not going to do it. But May the 19th, Palmer's going to be here, who just wrote this book. She sent me an advanced copy. I've almost finished with it, and it is unbelievable. She healed herself of multiple sclerosis, and the whole book is about autoimmune disease. And so I'm telling you, you guys are going to want to take notes. She's going to join us by Zoom or Skype or something like that. I don't know what we do, Be Live, but that's going to be a ton of fun, right? And then let me see here. This Saturday we're open. No, we're not open. This Saturday is the CBD workshop at the office.
Ooh, nice.
From 1 to 2. Yeah, you guys can sign up online. It's on there. And then May 17th is the Hashimoto's meeting. And I'm going to be talking about osteoporosis and osteopenia. And so I will have that up on the website as well and on Facebook. Also, if you are interested in a group detox.
Somebody's saying.
Because I'm going to do a group detox, and I mean like an official group detox where we meet in the office day 1 or the first day, and then we meet in the office on day 5, and then we meet in the office on day 10 when it's over. If you're interested in a group detox, let me know, because I think we're going to do that. We're going to start doing that several times a year, because I'm a big believer people heal when they have community. And if you've never done the 10-day Metagenics detox, you're missing out, because it is an unbelievable, especially if you're on all these pharmaceuticals.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. It's the #1 detox on the market. It's been around for 24 years. So we're going to, I was actually in Boston this weekend with learning about doing a group detox with people and things called first line therapy. So anyway, if you're interested in that, and then we may figure out a way to do it virtually as well. But what I'll do is I'll do a private Facebook group for everyone who joins it in the office and does it online with me. So yeah, I'm excited.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah, I think that detox is great. I do it several times a year, and you feel like $1,000,000 when you do it. And guys, I hope you learned something. Don't stop your Nexium, your antidepressants, your metformin, your diabetes drugs, your, what else did we talk about tonight? Your birth control, for crying out loud. I don't want to get that phone call. So-and-so's pregnant. You said stop her birth control. No, we don't want to do that.
But address the deficiencies.
That's right.
Talk to your doctor, talk to your nurse practitioner, talk to your pharmacist, see if there's a way that you can get off some of this stuff. I mean, it's not impossible.
No, it's not. And you do it slowly. I do wean people off of antidepressants all the time. I wean people off of all their medicines. I do it very, very slowly. I wish I didn't have to do this. I wish the primary care provider would do it, that put them on it, but they usually will not do that. So we do it very, very slowly. And it is unbelievable when they come back in and they say, Dani, I'm off my Lexapro. I came off my Xanax. That's the hardest one, in my opinion, to come off of. Benzos
we can talk about those too, because
we'll talk about benzos.
Drug-induced nutrient depletions with benzos too.
Oh, yes, there are. But this book right here is a great book. All right. It is a great book. I wish we wrote it, but we didn't. But anyway, go buy it, because it is if you're taking, it goes through so many classes of pharmaceuticals, and CoQ10 right there, CoQ10. I'm telling you, CoQ10 is huge. So, all right, people, we sure do appreciate you. Sorry we had such a hard time getting on, and we're also crunched up here because we're on our phone. Something happened to the computer. I don't know what went down, but you guys are fabulous, and I appreciate every Sunday night that you all watch, because this is just right here in the kitchen, at the kitchen table. Literally, this is kitchen table medicine.
Nothing better. Nothing better.
And Harlan didn't snore tonight. He's laying over here just watching us. He's kind of halfway asleep. But we love you guys. I'll see you at the office this week. And you got this. All right. Eat well. Sleep well. Move well. Poop well. Good Lord, you got to poop. Decrease stress. And you got to have community.
Yes.
Okay. Get your people. Find your people. And when you find your tribe, hang on tight to them, because I'm telling you, there's nothing like having a good tribe.
No.
Is there?
No.
I am so excited she's here.
Kentucky girls.
Woo! Yeah, that Derby. Oh my gosh. I was so upset in Boston last night. I was screaming like a banshee in the bedroom, in the hotel room. And I'm sure they thought I'd lost my mind over there. And then, you know, we could have run 15
More
derbies
races.
by the time we got that kind of result. But anyway, we are my old Kentucky girls. So
Yep. Thank y'all. Have a good night.